Was the day where I don't even know how I made it home.
Yeah.
And I live in River Falls from here. And he stayed. They showed up in 2 trucks, if I remember right, with a little kid, and he stayed and did the whole tour for him. So,
oh my gosh!
So they had a special time being
That's
able
awesome.
to stand there. They're basically in here by themselves.
Hey, travelers! It's another Taproom Takeover podcast, and we've moved so far out of Eau Claire. We're all the way over in Hudson, Wisconsin, so almost on the border. Well, on the border, I guess. Back at one of our favorite places, Pitchfork Brewing, and we have the 2 mics with us, or I should say I have the 2 mics with us because I don't have Troy with me this week.
How you doing?
Hello.
Hi, guys. So thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for being a part of this. So the last time, and this is a new podcast, so the people that are listening to this may not know, you guys were in a smaller place that's just across the highway.
Correct.
And it was I would like to refer to it as an intimate setting.
It was
rather than small.
Yes, very.
So, you could fit, what, 20,
No.
30 people?
30
Ish.
30-ish, people in the tap room.
Yeah. Pre-pandemic, where you didn't have the space and
yeah.
everybody's, jammed in there.
And if I remember, I think we were at that time talking about this place.
Yeah.
I think we were.
Yeah, the last time we had talked to you guys. Yeah. So then a lot has changed.
A lot.
Obviously, the world's changed, but then your setting has changed too. So you guys built this place, and then moved some new tanks in, and started you guys make pizza now and all kinds of other stuff. So we'll get into that. So other than the space, what drove you guys to come over here? Just for those listeners that maybe didn't listen to us before.
I think that the force behind it was that we knew we had a good product.
Yeah.
We just needed a new playing field, a new venue to show it and roll it out and let people get a chance to try it. So obviously, when we started, we had a different path. We had some people that had contacted us about being involved in a new development in Hudson, which was involved on the old dog track, and that kind of didn't pan out, so we took a leap of faith and decided that let's see what we can do.
We call that a pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot. Yeah.
It was a good pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for
definitely
sure.
not a divot.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
you want pivots.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
So we just, Mike and I, our relationship started when I was building and Mike was painting. That's how we knew each other. And it was like, okay, he had friends that knew how to do things, and I had people that I knew how to do things, and we just decided to go for it and see what happens.
That's awesome.
And I'm very happy that we did.
Yeah, it was a ton of work, obviously, getting everything done, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's done and over with.
And then, you look back and you go, why didn't we do it sooner?
Right.
That kind of thing, because it's just a perfect fit for what Mike does with the beer, and we just added a little food, a couple ideas that we had that we bounced around, and Mike is very proficient at smoking meats, so we used that as one of our main things and tried to put a different twist on it by basically creating a non-traditional pizza, line of pizzas, if you want to call it, I guess. So yeah.
And I know that was one of the things that you guys really wanted to do in the old place, but just space-wise and everything, it just wasn't feasible.
Yeah. So we, like we said, we just took our skills that we had in our relationship doing what I used to do and what he used to do, and it worked out great. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And I know you guys. So how long has Pitchfork been around?
7.5 years now.
7.5 years.
Yeah.
You formed your.
Well, we formed it in 2012, but there was delays getting in there, so it was 2013.
Sure. Matter of fact, you were open, still framing on a St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
So
where we had
on 2013.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't too long after that.
No.
They were
So quite a while. I mean, as far as craft beer goes.
Yeah.
The boom, you were probably in it. You were in it, I would say, just before the boom. So when the pandemic hit, were you guys just into this new building at that point?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use another St. Patrick's Day, which
Right.
that was the day they said you have to close at 5.
Oh, geez.
So
We flipped it overnight.
overnight, Mike got on the phone with his wife, and we pulled up a online app to do all of our food and all of our beer online. And basically, Mike and I came in the next day and started a new model for the business for a little while.
Yeah.
And you come in the morning, and Mike could start filling beers in the crowler cans because we didn't have our 16-ounce Seamer running yet. And I'd go in the kitchen and just start prepping, and then at 3 o'clock, we both met in there and just basically served pizzas.
Nice.
So
So would you say that maybe the being open for as long as you were was a little easier to adjust to something like this?
well, it was it kind of freaked us out a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I would assume that it probably freaked everybody out. I mean, I know it freaked me out, and I don't own a brewery, but
Yeah. But no, I think the fact that he had a business that he ran, I had a business I ran, we kind of knew that, when things like this happen, you basically, put on your boots and you go. And
Yeah.
that's what we did. So
that's awesome.
And that window that was put in to service the patio was perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was
when we designed the building, the idea was to have a pickup window for the patio so people could come up on a bike or
Sure.
walking
Yeah.
a dog. They wouldn't have to come in, and boy, that thing paid for itself 1,400 times over.
everybody was socially distanced out there, and we were
Yeah.
able to hand the pizzas out the window. They could, do their online ordering, pay for everything. It just was smooth.
And that's awesome. I think a lot of people were, me included. My wife owns a salon. What the hell do you do for 3 months or whatever it was when you're shut down?
Right.
And you know that from the moment that you're shut down, there's no more money coming in.
Yeah.
So then you're like, what do you do?
And really we have to say the gentleman who helped us with the banking side of things when we did it kept us really informed on what was going on, and
Sure.
we knew that they were going to defer us having to make some payments, which helped us out. So we just basically hit the ground running and do what we had to do.
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't pay ourselves. We were just like, okay, if we can just make our hard costs through this situation, then then we'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And and the community just
it was
stepped
great.
right up.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think, how long was it? Maybe 3 or 4 weeks into it, I was like, okay, there's going to be a point here where we're going to have to get on the phone and call someone in to help us, because we were getting here whatever time of the day, filling as many beers as we could. At the end of the day, okay, we sold those out. We'll start all over again tomorrow. So
Oh yeah,
So,
it was.
So and the community just got behind us, so we can't thank them enough.
And I know Hudson's an ever-growing community, right? I mean, there's a lot of people
right.
that are moving from the cities over to
Yep.
the Hudson area. So
Yep.
now that things are opening back up a little more, are you still seeing that influx of people? And
Just keeps
and
going.
It just keeps going up.
It just keeps going up. It's like I said, community's behind you. We got something a little different than Hudson has had in the past. We got a little space. We have room for people to be outside. We have space for them to, if they're not comfortable, they can spread out a little
Right.
bit. So we just keeping it going and doing our thing, watching our bobber, making sure we're doing what we need to do. So.
And the great thing for me, like, you guys are the first exit going to the cities from Eau Claire, so
There you are.
it's a good reminder also to the people that are listening from Eau Claire. If you're looking for a brewery before you even hit the cities, this is the great.
Yeah,
it's,
thank you.
It's what, not even half a mile off the road.
No, not even.
Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first exit into Hudson, you right off, you take a right and another right, and you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's been good. We're lucky, really. So.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about the space a little bit, maybe for people that haven't, gone out or visited any places. So it's it's a blue building. So if you're looking off to what it would be north.
Yep.
If you see a blue building, you know where it is.
copper-colored roof.
Yeah.
So it does
looks
stand
like
out.
a barn.
Yeah,
You know,
it looks like a barn.
That's
So-
the idea.
Yeah. And I know that's when we had talked to you last, that was the idea that you had anyway, is to really embrace the barn. I know that was your atmosphere in the other place too.
Yeah.
The barn and
Farm
the
theme.
Farm,
Yeah. So we tried to do that here. I mean, in the tap room, early on, we decided to have some larger tables like you might see at a farm breakfast or, a gathering on a farm.
Right.
So we did that right away, and that's worked out really well. Just kind of keep that idea going.
I mean, the idea, where we're set and all that kind of stuff, is we kind of look at it as your local brewery, pre-prohibition style, locally grown, ingredients, hops all come from Stillwater,
Sure.
we're on a well, so we're pulling from this water, this is the beer that would come from this region, and so it's kind of them, farm setting out here, kind of, so it's
like a modern day barn, I guess.
Yeah,
Right,
well,
yeah,
and that's kind of what we went for up in the tap room, kind of maybe an updated version of that whole idea.
Yeah.
Well, and even a patio is kind of like that too.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. Covered, by the way, for those who are.
Right.
So on a day when it's drizzling out and it's 75, you can come hang out. So
Yeah. I've utilized it a little bit, so that's been good.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the food. I know people are interested in that, especially the ones that have been to Pitchfork before and maybe never had the food. So you guys do pizzas and pretzels. And
We have a large German pretzel. We have pizza fry. We have some nachos, and everything is based around smoked meats. So
Okay. Yep.
Mike had some recipes for rubs. We use that. Mike and a good friend of his, Tony, built a smoker on a trailer. We park it right off of our kitchen. Got that set up this year, and we smoke meats once for sure. Most of the time, twice a week.
Yeah.
So, and we've expanded a little bit since our original thought. We started out with some kind of a different approach on what was going to be on there, and the pizzas were so popular that we kind of positioned it more towards around the pizza, a couple sandwiches, and take advantage of doing a specialty pizza pretty much every couple of weeks. We change things up, and very unique.
Our crust is our crust. People love it. I mean, it's spent grain, non-bread,
kind of crust.
style crust
Yeah.
that's real unique to it. And then smoking the meats here, and then it's kind of like a specialty sandwich shop. When you come in, you got to read the menu, look at it. It's not build your own. We custom build every pizza with a different sauce, and then it's built this way, and there's a reason we do it, because it's,
It makes it right.
it's unique.
One of a kind.
Right.
So you'll come in and find things like this week we're running a chicken Thai pizza.
Ooh, yeah.
So we recently just added a breakfast pizza to the menu, and then we just continue to do things like a bacon cheeseburger pizza or a pork Slovakia pizza, and all of these different things. And it really is, for me, on the food side, that's the fun part, just being able to come up with these ideas where it's like people go, well, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
First time we did a Spam pizza, I had people go, well, I'm not eating a
Right,
Spam pizza.
yeah.
Well, I said, hey, try it. You don't like it, I'll pay for it. And I guarantee you they came back and had another one, because it's just that unique. It's just a good thing to fit with all of the different varieties of beers that Mike brews. You're gonna get a wide range of things here. We're not like locked into one basic style. It's anything from a stout all the way up to now have a hard lemonade. So
And you guys rotate those pizzas, the specialty ones, pretty often.
Oh, yeah,
it's
pretty
every 2 weeks, just about.
Yep. So we're just getting ready to do, for the first time in a pizza joint, we're going to actually do pepperoni this weekend. So next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. So, and we're going to do a little twist on that. It's not going to be the same as as you would get in a normal place.
So if people want to know what the specialty pizza is, I see it on Facebook.
Yep.
Is that the best place
Yep.
for people to?
Facebook, Instagram. I usually post everything up there. That's really the best avenue. And then our menu standard menu with all of our normal items are all on my website, and you can go on there. We also have the online ordering app where everything on there is always up to date with what's going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to do it. I mean, you can get on there, you can order your stuff, and you can pick the time that you want it done, and then we usually have it within a minute of the time that it
That's
comes
awesome.
off. So yeah.
So even if people are coming through Hudson and just
Yeah,
want like a pizza,
you could.
and a
Yeah, you can go
4-pack to
online,
yeah.
pay for it, and it's your stop is really quick. You know, we have it
Yeah.
ready, hand it to you. You can even pick your 4-pack of beer, you know, out of there. So
And then we just recently have started doing. People are asking, can we take the pizza to home to bake it? So we'll do that too. Just
Oh,
put
nice.
Put it together,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then just if you're driving an hour or so and you want to have it when you get there, you'll be able to do that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think the wife had asked another place the other day if they would do it, and they said absolutely not. And I know that's
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Well,
know?
and for us, it's the crusts are par baked, so you're able to do that really
Sure,
easy with
sure.
the way we do things.
yeah,
So
we do more assembling. You know, everything. I mean, we smoke all the stuff. Build. You know, we do our own pickles and onions. You know, all
Oh,
that
man.
pickling
Yeah.
stuff and everything.
all the sauces
But
are basically made here.
Yeah, so but it's just put
Yeah.
it together.
And
Sure.
we incorporate some of the different beers into the sauces, so you also get that flavor.
Oh,
going,
that's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you use any beer in the smoking of the meats too, or
No.
no,
No,
all
we haven't
dry
done that.
rubs? And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Different rub for everything,
Sure,
but
sure.
yeah.
So so that that's kind of was the idea when we started. Mike and my chef that I had when I owned my other restaurant, they took a trip over and did some tests with our food supplier just to kind of, are we going to be able to source what we're looking for, and is it going to work? And they came back, and it was like we had a nucleus for what to do, and then from there we just kind of expanded it. Mike and I would stand on the days where we were in the kitchen during everything being shut down, and we'd talk about different things, and it was like, we should really try that. I bet you that would work. And then we'd give her a shot, and
Yeah.
ooh, that worked. Let's keep it going. So once we started to do that, it was like there's really no limit. We have all kinds of different ideas. Seems as though if it's a sandwich idea, we're going to figure out how to put it on a pizza.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, it was one plus thing to the pandemic. It really gave us a opportunity to streamline our menu to
Yep.
figure out, okay, this is
Sure.
this is
Yeah.
what works, and
and it gave an opportunity for Mike and I to be together to say, I want to do this, I want to do that. We were able to kind of fine tune what we want to do together.
Right.
And then when we were able to open back up, it's like, hit the ground running. So
Well, there's always a bright spot somewhere. You know? It's,
I would say.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great. As far as like seating and stuff is, people that are maybe concerned about that, you have quite a bit of seating out in the actual tap room, but even kind of back by the tanks where we are.
Yep.
So you've got plenty of seating for people that
Yep.
maybe want to be inside but are concerned about
Being
Yeah.
too close.
Yeah.
And our ceiling heights are 14 feet, so we have a lot of good
Yeah.
ventilation. We
What
just
is-
recently set the tap room back up, but we do have.
Yeah, people are uncomfortable or feel uncomfortable in there.
Right.
They can come back here, or there's outside.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
And we don't overcrowd the patio. We've got that pretty spaced out.
Yeah.
And in the future, we're going to have some additional seating out in some grassy areas out
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
already.
yeah.
We do some
So-
games and that kind of thing
Oh,
out
awesome.
there.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. That'd be great for the summer.
baby steps,
Yeah.
getting there.
That's awesome. We're going to take a little break, but when we come back, I want to talk more about the beer, obviously, because that's the biggest part of our podcast is always talking about beer. But I like to talk about food too, obviously. But talk about the beer, and then we'll talk about future things coming up because now that things are starting to open up, looking a little brighter. Everybody wants to look into the future, obviously. So we've
Sure.
been wanting to look into the future since March of
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
So everybody listening, we'll be right back. Don't go away. This podcast is sponsored by Grazie Aveda Concept Salon and Paradise Massage, where whole body care is their specialty. Now offering massage, nail, and hair care services tailored to everyone's individual needs. They're conveniently located at 4638 Gulf Road in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, or find them online at graziesalon.com. All right, we're back. Still at Pitchfork Brewing with the mics. By the way, so you guys have transitioned to 16-ounce cans, right?
Yes, we have.
So before we get into that, about that, the biggest thing that I love about your labels, and especially on the 16-ounce cans, is you keep the mics happy, recycle.
Right.
It's in the small print, but it was probably the first thing that I noticed. The Jetsons are here.
All right. He's got a new phone.
Yeah.
It's been a learning curve.
I am 60.
That's an accomplishment. It's not a bad thing,
Right.
So yeah, you guys. So when you were over in the old place, it was mostly growlers and crowlers, and
Yeah.
that was pretty much your to go. And even when you kind of started here, right, it was still
Crawlers.
Just crawlers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so at some point you transitioned to 16-ounce cans.
Yeah,
right?
we had the seamer here. We just we just didn't have time to set it up.
I don't think so. Yeah, we just were shot out of the gun right away, and then it was
we were shut down. So we just we ran with what we were comfortable with, and
Sure.
then as we were starting to come out of it, we put it together and got it up and running. Mike has a good friend of his that worked on a similar.
he
type-
worked on the same one
Oh, that's
actually.
right. It
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
Oh, nice.
So he came over and just kind of gave us a quick, here's what you do and you don't do, and then
Yeah.
we just took off from there.
It's good to know those kind of people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Like I say, I have friends I haven't even used yet.
That's good. You always want some in the reserve.
That's
You
right.
You don't want to use them all up right
Yeah.
away.
No, so it was awesome. It like I said, we had such good support when we first opened it. Just made everything a lot easier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's great, and it makes it a lot, especially during the pandemic times where you're not seeing people anyway. Drinking a whole crowler by yourself, yeah, you want to, and believe me, there were nights where I did.
Yeah.
But 16 ounce, you can go. Well, I'm really gonna push my beer drinking back tonight, and I'm only gonna drink 16 ounces.
Right.
yeah.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
so,
it's yeah, go ahead.
No, it was good. And then Mike had an idea, like kind of halfway as we were starting to come out of it, to say, well, let's just push the crowlers and the growlers away.
Yep.
And with the 16-ounce cans, people can come in and actually get the same amount of beer.
Yeah.
And then if they want to get 4 different ones in the
Yeah.
4-pack, they got
Yeah.
a chance for it. It's really been able to give people the exposure to all the different varieties of beer that we do.
That's awesome.
So
Not to mention we were able to do it for a better price
Yeah.
than what we
Yeah.
were for a growler fill.
yeah.
Right.
You
Right.
take
Yeah.
the labor out of cleaning somebody's gross old growler, versus being able to set up and just do what we,
Right.
need to do, crank them out, and then,
Right.
so, yeah, it's really been a nice addition for us.
Has that really gone over well with?
Oh,
with
yeah,
it?
it's been
Yeah.
huge for us.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
we recently, not too long ago, I can't remember how long ago, hooked up with a distributor out of Eau Claire that takes care of us basically through the whole state now, and a little bit into Minnesota, Duluth, and that's slowly starting to ramp up a little bit. So
And that was going to be my next question. So
Yeah.
that's great. I
Yeah.
know that I've found you guys around Eau Claire a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for those that are listening, obviously they want to be able to
right.
purchase your stuff. So,
Yep.
So are all of the beers available in distribution or just select?
Yeah,
Just select ones.
yeah. He's taken French Toast Ale,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North of 8 Pilsner,
Chicken Dog Red Lager and
And
American Gothic.
American Gothic.
Okay.
And sometimes
Was it-
he'll pull some pale ale.
Yeah,
Take that.
yeah,
Third
yeah, yeah.
stall.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so-
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so-
Well, there's a lot of people in Eau Claire that love pale ale, and nobody's making pale ale anymore.
Yeah,
so
well,
it's-
we still
yeah.
making.
I know.
We're still making that one.
I do the old traditional.
Yeah.
It's more of a it's a good traditional pale ale. I mean,
I
it's
agree.
not
Yeah.
overly. It fits the style nicely without being over hopped on the back end of it. You have a malt and a malt and hop balance on it. So
So are those beers all year round then now, or are they?
kind of we're committed. We have cans. But
That's what happens when you order cans. You're
Right,
Like, oh,
yeah,
I gotta fill that with something.
no, and then we, kind of how we decide that we're going to do a can is we have our universal can
Yeah.
that will, it's just kind of a generic can that we label, and then if that's our test market,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
So we'll put that out there. If if we sell a ton of it in that format, then we kind of decide, hey, let's make a can,
Sure,
and
sure.
then
Yeah.
we can push it out a little further. So
That's great. Yeah.
it's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, so as far as brewing, I know when you guys were at the old place, you still had your staples, the porter and everything that was, have you gone past that? Like, have you started to experiment a little more?
Basically kind of, we are at the point of like, we will do 1 to maybe 2 if we're pushing it of a different, I still keep beers, to the traditional like German,
Yeah.
German time frame for
Right.
styles, so I'll, our my box out now, that kind of thing. So I'll
Right.
keep that always in rotation, and then we'll try to put something else, that's new out on there, and then try to keep our staples going too at the same time. So
An example would be the North of 8 Pilsner.
Yep.
We took that and Mike did a dry hop version of it,
yeah,
Okay.
which went over really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So, things like that. The cream ale that Mike does, phenomenal cream ale. We said, hey, what can we do? And let's try a lemonade. So we use that as the base for it, and then it's a shandy, I guess would be the best way to say it. But it works out really well. So we're doing things like that, keeping all of the stuff that he does that are phenomenal, Schwartz beer and the Maybach and a Munich Dunkel and all those things that kind of been in the background since all the IPAs and things come out.
Yep.
And just it's been very, 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 very good for us. It's kind of a little niche that you don't see some of those older beers. We're a red lager. Today Mike took his brown ale that he's been doing for a long time, and we're doing a little tweak on that just to see. So
Yeah.
yeah. So,
little brown sugar and vanilla.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, some of those things you don't see a lot of anymore. Anybody even just doing a brown ale, period.
yeah, there are very few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I'm sipping on is Rocket Fuel, which is your quad, right?
No, it's a triple.
Triple.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a high end ABV of the
Right.
triple style, but yeah, it's a triple. So it's made with, I think we had 60 pounds of honey in there, and then an awful lot of orange peels.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt could feel all of the little cuts in his hands by
Yeah.
the time he was done.
Matt's the assistant brewer with Mike, so he gets to do all the fun stuff.
He earns his keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Peeling oranges and
And it's just fun. It's for me, knowing that Mike's the recipe guru and being able to have a system where he can just do all of these things with, be able to experiment a little bit. We even came up with a way so that he could continue to do his whole cone hop in the brewing. So how many times have you even put a pellet in the new system?
Oh, just when we first started,
Yeah.
until we had
Yep.
everything figured out for it. But yeah, otherwise it's only dry hopping
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a pellet.
And
So,
that's probably something people aren't even aware of. That we've done videos with you guys before, but if people don't want to go back that far on YouTube, you
Right.
can probably. Yeah, that was a lot of years ago. I think we did 6 years ago. I think was our first episode.
Yeah,
with you guys.
something like that, yeah.
it was a long time.
yeah.
But yeah, so you do the whole cone hop.
Yep. Stonehill Hop Farm is by almost his entire farm every
Okay.
year, and then we get additional stuff out of St. Croix Falls and that kind of thing, but
Right.
all in whole cone form. And so, yeah, it's I like it because I feel like there's less leaf and stem material that gets in there.
Sure.
It's a softer profile on the hop characteristic, which is nice in the lagers and that kind of thing. So it's
There again, German beers,
Right.
Yeah, not like
Yeah.
overly hopped.
Yeah. Where it's not a screaming bitter harshness
Right.
or characteristic to them.
Right.
That's the one criticism that I get sometimes, that our IPAs are a little soft on the hop profile. But that's
That's just the way it's done. Yeah,
Right.
the way he does it. So
Yeah.
and it's
For a person like me, I appreciate it.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an approachable.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know.
Right.
So.
And that's what I would say about your whole list of beers. Even the Rocket Fuel, which I'm drinking, you wouldn't know it from the first few sips that you get. But you get about half a beer down and you start to feel it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
9.2 on
Yeah,
that.
when we were sampling it, like I'd dole out a little samples, and I'm like, I like the orange in here, you know, what do you guys? And then Matt would look at me, or you know, I can feel that, you know.
So, you know, that's for me being not on the brew end of it.
Right.
It's exciting to see all of these different things that Mike's been able to do since we got over here, and
absolutely.
it's just spot on, you know, every time. It's been
So
phenomenal.
As far as the future goes, what do you guys have planned for, like, beer, food? And I know that you guys did certain events before, and, you know, pandemic. Obviously,
We're gonna try to do another one probably in the fall.
Yeah, we're starting to plan to have some kind of an event, probably around an October type fest thing, or
Sure.
a harvest fest kind of thing. That's what we used to do before. We may even bring back a pumpkin beer that we haven't done for a while.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
if we didn't sell enough Oktoberfest already,
Yeah.
but
So we're starting to, you know, plan on that, and we're getting some work done around the building that we weren't able to do last year.
Right.
You know, expanding the parking lot a little bit with just a gravelled area for overflow, and then getting all the grass and everything to come in nice and good so we can have some outside areas. Down the road, we'd like to, you know, maybe not have music every day, but at least kind of have some events where we can have some music. Property's got an area towards the back of it where you could almost make a bowl. People
Oh,
could sit
nice.
on the hill and
Yeah.
have music playing.
Yeah.
So we ran power all the way out to that side of the parking lot so that we could do things like that. So, you know.
And that was for the small space that you guys were in before. I really had to give you credit for still doing the events that you did, because you had that space in the back where you could still
Right.
kind of do stuff.
Right.
yeah.
But you're really limited to
Right.
as far as what, you know.
Yeah, so, you know, I think when we decided that we were going to build this, we both kind of thought, well, if we can do things like that and have an area where it's maybe you don't do them every weekend, but you would be able to at least plan and have enough space for people. And,
Right.
And you know, for as crummy as that little space over there was, like, you know, looking how crummy it is now, we really utilized
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That space.
Heck,
you
out of
did.
that
You did.
thing
Yeah.
for 6.5 years. So.
And it brings a lot of nostalgia back. Yeah, I'm one of those nostalgic people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you always remember the first one, but
yeah,
then
that's this table.
Yeah, this table. Yeah, I believe. I think the last time that we interviewed you guys, it was
You were
on
at this table.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
We're going to keep it around.
But good.
Yeah. So
For
yeah, we have a little area up in the tap room where we took some pictures from the old
Right.
space and put it up
Yeah.
on the walls to kind of pay homage to that whole, you know, place.
I go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, but I don't miss having a floor drain uphill
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
The best thing about this building
Yeah.
is that floor
The
drain.
floor
Right.
drain, yeah. So we'll have the gentleman, the company that did the floor for us that I worked with building houses, and Mike knows him pretty well, and he'll make a post on Facebook, and Mike out of the blue will just say, "I love my floor drain."
I do.
Yeah. I mean, that's important. If
Yeah.
you're gonna
The
brew, you
drain
gotta
is
have it.
sloped really
Yeah.
well. Everything around it is sloped really well. It's freaking Halverson Concrete knocked it out of the park with
yeah.
that thing.
That's
Definitely.
awesome.
And Darren, by the way.
Yeah, Darren.
So
So one last, well, it doesn't have to be the very last thing, but so one of the things that, and I know people that, so we used to, for those that are listening, remember, and for those that weren't on a part of it, we used to take bus trips over to the cities. We'd usually stop at Pitchfork, or in special occasions where we got kicked out of a brewery for a certain reason. I'd call Mike on the way back and go, "Hey, can we stop into your brewery? We kind of got kicked out of a place, you know." And you gave a tour of the brewery, and people, I still get people that remember that. They remember that
yeah.
tour, and who would have thought they'd had enough beer that day that they would actually remember the tour?
Yeah.
Right.
So is there any thought of doing brewery tours again? Because I know a lot of people appreciated, you know, your thoughtfulness and your mindfulness as far as that goes.
I've been doing them just as like appointment, like
Right.
someone, you know, contacts me or whatever. But yeah, that's something I can set up.
I'll give you a little history on recent one.
Yeah.
We had a snowstorm where he had committed to a birthday party.
Oh, jeez.
And it was the day where I don't even know how I made it home.
Yeah,
And I live in
yeah.
River Falls from here. And he stayed. They showed up in 2 trucks, if I remember right, with a little kid, and he stayed and did the whole tour for him. So,
Oh my gosh.
so they had a special time, be
That's
able to
awesome.
stand there. They're basically in here by themselves.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it is neat because he's super knowledgeable about everything about beer, and it's. I usually walk away when I'm listening, going, "Hey, I didn't even know that." So so it's definitely something I think that down the road, if we can free him up with some time,
Right.
maybe it'll be a couple
Yeah,
times a
no,
month
they're-
or once a month or whatever.
It's they get a lot out of it. I mean, and it's it's
agree.
question driven. So if they ask me stuff like it's I've been cornered by the home brewing groups for. I had a 3.5 hour tour one time where they just. I'm like, all right, back up a little. Like if it's like, all right, yeah, let's talk beer, but yeah. But no, I enjoy doing them because you have that one-on-one connection with them, and then
Right.
they really get a good knowledge of the brewing process and the ingredients and stuff by the time that they leave. Where it's my tours they're not this shiny thing. Look at this shiny thing. It's their
about the
information
process
based.
more,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And I think that's what people appreciated. There are a lot of people that we used to have on the bus trips that had been on several tours. Obviously, you go on the Little Liney's tour, and you've been on other
Right.
tours.
Yeah.
But it's kind of and not that it's a bad thing because they have to do it that way. But it's kind of a very step by step.
Yeah,
There's no really asking questions so much.
very, very, very Walt Disney World.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here it's a totally different thing. No tour is the same as another.
No.
Yeah.
And I give you credit for bringing in like 20 drunk people and being able to just thrill them.
Well, I always make the statement: if you don't want to listen, just walk away. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
You had all of their attention that entire time. That was. I've never gotten such stunning reviews on the bus ride home back to Eau Claire than
Awesome.
man, that tour was great.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. And I know that occasionally Troy will show up and throw you a curveball, but
Yeah, it's all good. We I like talking beer even though I don't know much about it. So it's it's a good thing.
yeah, and it should be fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. If people come here, they'll have fun. They'll have an experience, and I think that's what craft beer should be about is an experience.
All right.
Right. And I'm going to say as an outsider looking in, before I bought into Mike's Brewery, for me it was always the excitement that he had
Yeah.
to be able to say, this is what I know.
Right.
And if you want to listen, you can learn something. So
Yeah.
for me, that was always pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So we'll wrap up. I want people to be able to find you guys. So what's the best way if they want to know what's going on at Pitchfork? Obviously Facebook, right?
Facebook, social media. Once we start doing some special events, I will post them in our on our website if you're only interested in going there. We try to be up to date. Sometimes we get a little busy, and I might
Sure.
forget to flip a beer right away. But for the most part, we changed the website a little while ago and kind of streamlined it, made it more direct. Took the fluff out and said, "Here's what's going on."
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really simple. I left it so it's just one page. You don't have to go to 14 pages. You find everything right on one page.
That's
So,
awesome.
And that's probably the best way to do it. And you're always welcome to call, say what's going on.
And so new pizzas,
New pizzas,
new beers.
down the road events,
Yeah.
those kind of things.
That's awesome.
So yeah. And once again, I have to say that the community has been just awesome here to support us through the whole thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear. And to be honest with you, that's what I've heard. All of the interviews that we've done for this so far is that communities have really
Yeah.
rallied
Yeah.
around their local
Yep.
brewery,
Yep.
and hopefully that doesn't change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, word.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we do.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you again, you guys,
Yep.
for showing up on.
Well, thank
on
you.
a weekday
Yeah,
for me.
No
and-
problem. Thank you for coming out. We appreciate you doing
this
it for us.
This
Yeah.
won't be the last thing that we ever do with you guys, because it's always such a good time to talk to you guys about beer and food and what's going on. So
Okay.
we appreciate it, and thank you all for listening. We will talk to you the next time. Prost,
right.
everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers.